So typically with YouTube and Adobe and MSN and a couple of other companies, that's basically what we do to promote more for the positive, intuitive acknowledgments of what goes on in 2023 to 2037 to 2063 in the advancement of time, and being able to work with a certain such a lovely um, with lovely sound tones, and being able to urbanize anything and everything that makes a plural meaning to a sense of life is pretty much what we want to be able to determine in the future. And it's pretty much using a old fashioned memory set, 2010 of 2022, using that method of forms, and being able to use more pmc2 squareds configurations of capacities is pretty much what we want to be able to imagine, weigh in, and measure, and be able to distribute more of what the intuitive meanings of it is. And it's pretty much just using 988 hours of complete critical observation, and being able to observe as much as you can, and doing that is pretty much where you got to be able to transition from using a restroom, taking a shower, being able to use your everyday methods in your inventory specialist job, and being able to get it ready for the inventory specialist job. You're being able to look more into your private share of companies at that time of 987 different units of capacities. So, that's already talking about $90,000 being rewarded to you in 387 months, and you being able to buy, you being able to buy that GMC 2009, you being able to buy that 2000 GMC 2009, and you won't need that 9,000 or that 900 no more to pay the down payment. You already paid the 90,000. It was only worth about $30,000 to get that truck paid for. So that's pretty much working with $1,200, and dealing with $5, more often, dealing with sets of 55, 43 fives, getting like 243 sets of that, getting that set up, and multiplying it times 544, whether it's dimes, statistics, rice of grains of rice, getting some type of intuitive look, whether you want to make that jambalaya gumbo, you want to make something with it, spin it around, do something extra with it, just because it is extra that you're dealing with. You're not dealing with $980. You're dealing with at least $98,889.46. So, it's dealing with at least 346 different 46 different um we're working with 876 different results that could be happening at the time. So, that's pretty much what we're getting in as far as that go, and, being able to pay for the GMC Denali, and, being GMC Sierra Z71. And, that's pretty much where you're working on, more of Austria Lagoon, Little Stacy, Dick Nichols, B Cave. You're working within those 987 coordinate satellites that go within the Sonico gas stations that they go with. So, it's pretty much using a district primary user to accommodate UIL and All City, and those that ride closer with ride closer to me in the city. I mean, in the country. So that's pretty much where we want to be able to add different eco herbs of purple, green, and orange. 28,897. You want to be able to add that, and make that additional to that 90,000 that you add, since that's $357 extra of $50 net worth. So it's pretty much where you're using more of economics with world history, with biology at the time. So being able to complete different units of dimensions is pretty much what we want to be able to use, and be able to collect better grades, and add bigger grades to the factor as you can. You normally seeing a factor like 3x plus 3, you're not gonna see what the reference is on it. So it's pretty much where you're using a bigger complication of trans tax and subtotal to pay for it. And it's pretty much where you gotta use $980 to pay for it if you didn't know that. So that's pretty much where you're using more of infinity, Cadillac, Audi cars, being at the dealer. It's pretty much worth about $987 at the dealer, versus it being a regular $530 at the dealership, 1958 to 2030. And it's pretty much where you're getting your first car at, really, when you're able to be able to drive in 1950. So it's not that you're practicing you're not practicing in old tradition, but it's basically from 1950 instead of 1870 or 1850. You're going to 1950 to 2020 and 2030, and being able to know more about the urban day look of driving, and being able to look at the different forms of interstate at the hour. Being able to look at 1997 to 2071 as you use passive language, and being able to use respectful acknowledgments at the time. So it's pretty much using Sheraton, Marriott, Hampton, Hyatt, Holiday Inn. You use the majority of that 98,889 times. So you're using it about 90, 89, 71 times. So it's pretty much how you getting that. And this right here is just showing you the difference between pmc2 squared and using Comcast grid. The difference between Comcast grid and pmc2 squared. And it's basically where you're using more of Austin code to promote more for pmc2 squared warehouse statistics. And it's just going along with Comcast grid statistics network. And it's pretty much what our networks here are showing. Whether it has like 971 common networks that it know of, that know of these types of compounds and components that that make good products at the time. So it's pretty much where we want to be able to say they make good products, but they either make good products, or whatever they do is at a good rate of acknowledgeability at the time. So it's pretty much where you want to be able to use these companies to result in a merry world, a merriful world, rather than being able to spend 900 or 9,303 times, being able to spend 900 or 9,003 times in 3 weeks. instead of 1 day or 3 days. So that's pretty much what these networks support and provide for at the same time, as you use more of 247 days of off day uh, materials, and being able to have more liability for the road at the time, and getting on the road and getting out, since you're in Austria Lagoon, and you have more of 1939 to 2089, within the city, and in the area of Arizona to Tennessee to Rhode Island. So, other than that, you're talking about coordinates here, and that's pretty much what I want. Eco herb and suburb and I want majority of the people talking about coordinates in at that rate, and that's pretty much just leading up at Restaurant Depot, or at Radio Shack in Capitol Plaza, and being able to show love either at that Radio Shack, or at other Radio Shacks where you got different visual displays going on. So it's pretty much where you can share our internal storage love, or you can show outer storage terminal inner internal storage, and that's basically with the first one using making internal storage is pretty much